For this first part of the video, I'm just gonna shut up because I really like what they've done with the music for the reception gate in this game. So I'm just gonna shut up because I want you to enjoy what they did along with me. Of course, we're starting with some wind since there's nothing, but when you go across this gate... the moment. Don't make me do this! No, no. Okay, false alarm. Okay, you get the point. And no, this is not me going lazy, I swear. This is just something that I wanted to show you, and for that, well, I had to be silent. Something that I normally don't do very well in my Let's Plays, for better or for worse. And speaking of music, random battles in Victory Road, since that's where we are now. Yeah, random battles use the theme of, whenever you fight in Shaking Grass or Doubles Grass in Victory Road. I don't remember if this is the case in Black and White 2, which is weird because they just came out and I already don't remember that. But still, I thought it was sort of a nice touch to tell you, you know, you're getting really close to the Pokemon League, so let's play the slightly more epic version of the song. But you didn't tune in today to hear me talk about music, huh? You want to hear something about this morning's announcement? Well, this morning, I guess if you live in the West, but whatever. Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. The titles themselves I did not see coming. I can guarantee you that nobody saw it coming. And some people are suggesting that this might have to do with, it might be loosely related to chromosomes, which makes some sense because they showed what are probably going to be the first two Uber mascots, and the feminine-looking deer thing that looks like a cross between Virizion and Dialga has antlers that are sort of shaped like an X, whereas the more manly bird, it looks sort of like a Y when it's in flight, so it would fit with, you know, the fact that males have a Y chromosome and females don't. Basic biology, people! So, Also, very important thing, simultaneous worldwide release. This is the first time in 17 years that this has ever happened. So, it's gonna be weird in a way because, we're gonna get, the games outside of Japan, and we're not gonna know jack about them. So personally, I like to use that time between the Japanese release and the international release to plan out my team and stuff like that. But it won't happen this time. So what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hold off on buying the game for a couple weeks to make sure that we know everything there is to know about the game and its Pokemon, so that I can pick my team appropriately instead of going blind, because you know that if I went into this game blind for the first time, I would probably have gone with Throw on my team or something like that. Bad idea! But the upside is that we're not going to have to learn a long list of Japanese names that mean nothing to most of us, only to completely forget about them when the English names inevitably get leaked. This time around, we're going to have everything in our own languages from the get-go. If you're French, you're going to have the French names. If you're German, you're going to have the German names. And well, typically in French Canada, we use the English names anyway. I think there's even a separate dub of the anime for French Canada because of that. Oh, and I can't believe I almost forgot about this. It's gloating time! You know, I've been telling whoever would listen for the better part of the last 2 years that Ruby and Sapphire remakes would most definitely not happen this generation. But did they listen to me? No! Of course not! Let's not listen to Slowflake, he's batshit insane! He doesn't know shit about Pokemon! Anyway, once we go out there, we are going to be introduced to the gimmick of Victory Road, which is that you can slide down those hills because Victory Road is built inside the side of a mountain, and you're going to go outside every now and then, and you're going to have to slide down to lower levels in order to be able to progress. As counterintuitive as it sounds, normally when you scale a mountain you want to go up, not down, but it's made with that in mind. Let's just keep it at that. So, yeah, as for what I was talking about before, it was just a matter of picking up on the obvious signs. For some people, the obvious signs were something as circumstantial as we had Generation 1 remakes in Generation 3, we had Generation 2 remakes in Generation 4, so we're gonna have Generation 5, or Generation 3 remakes, rather, in Generation 5. And, you know, that kind of logic would be fine and all if we had nothing else to go on. But the fact remains that the anime went a lot quicker than expected. They threw aside Meloetta, relegated it to an anime arc. They also hurried up distributing Genesect for some reason. And that's not nearly all there is to it, because if I listed all that pointed to this announcement that we got today, I'd be here for weeks! Also, it has nothing to do with that, but I'm always surprised at how frail those Woobats are near the beginning of the game, especially since they're evolved. You just saw a normal, non-stabbed U-turn take it out, so yeah, so back to gloating, I guess. Generation 5 was the first generation that defied a lot of conventions. Like, it was the first generation that was the second generation on a given system. It was the first generation that had direct sequels. It was the first generation that featured an international announcement of some sort, that being Black and White 2, even if they weren't released at the same time everywhere. It was the first time with Black and White 2 since early 2004 that a main series game was not released in September or October in Japan. The anime went by faster than in any other generation, barring the first, and once again, I really could go on. And you might be annoyed that I'm gloating so much, but I think I've earned it, because I've been called every name in the dictionary, and even some others that don't exist, for believing that remakes would not happen in Generation 5. So, some of you people, I think, owe me an apology. Apologize now, damn it! No, I'm just kidding. you know, I don't remember your names anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't care much for apologies anyway. But as for the starters, because that's right, the starters were revealed, and I think it's the first time ever that the starters are the first Pokemon to be officially revealed in a generation. Fennekin, easily my favorite. Its look is a little bit more traditional than the other two. I guess those designs will grow on me eventually. I mean, I even got accustomed to Samurott, even though I still think it's a big pile of wasted potential. But yeah, Fennekin, the more traditional of the bunch, my favorite, aesthetics-wise for the time being. Chespin looks like the rabbit from Happy Tree Friends had sex with a chestnut, and this was the result. I mean, look at the face. It looks a lot less like Sugimori's traditional style and more like, as I said, a Happy Tree Friends character. And then there's Froakie. I'm really hoping that it suffers from Oshawott syndrome in that the official art doesn't do it justice, because otherwise, right now, maybe later I'll grow accustomed to it. It always happens, so I gotta keep my mind open when it comes to things like that. But for the time being, this is all I can really say about it. And as for the secondary typings, well, I think we've all already seen jokes of Fennekin's final form somehow becoming firefighting again. But there's some speculation going on due to the nature of some of the moves used by the starters in the trailer. And, yeah, sorry about that. I was just not really paying attention to the game for a little bit, so I didn't really decide very well what I was going to send out against the Heatmor. Well, of course, I had the choice between Excadrill and Jellicent anyway. But anyway, due to that, a lot of people seem to agree with the idea that they might turn out to be Grass Dark, Fire Psychic, and Water Fighting, which would be amazing because I think a large portion of the fan base has asked for that reverse Dark Psychic Fighting trio to, you know, kind of cancel out the first type's advantages and stuff like that. And, you know, it would be really amazing if it came to pass, but I think for the time being, it's just speculation. I don't want to say anything that will later turn out to be false, but I am just going to say it would be really cool if that happened. Okay, I was wondering for a second if that bitch actually kept me stuck in this area of the room and there was no way to go behind her, but no, never mind that. I got a bit lucky there, I will admit. And as for, you know, the rumors of a potential new evolution, as hinted at by a tweet from, I think it was the official Pokemon Twitter account that suggested that, you know, the number of evolutions might change. That is not out of the question yet, because tomorrow's episode of the anime hasn't aired yet, of course, because it's tomorrow's episode. But if you're looking forward to a new evolution and really want to see if there's going to be one or if it's just mindless speculation, then I suggest that you pay close attention to it. And I, for once, am going to, well, not watch the episode, especially since, well, it's still the Pokemon anime, and in Japanese at that, but I'm definitely interested in seeing how that is going to turn out with all the speculation that's going on. So yeah, these are my first thoughts on the new Generation 6 games, just in case, you know, for some weird reason you actually care what I think. Now, here I'm gonna need strength to push that boulder. It's a shortcut back to near the entrance, but I don't have my strength HM Slave with me, so I'm going to teach it to Mienshao instead, so that I can still have my 16 members. Of course, I'm going to need to remember to go back to the move deleter before actually taking on the Elite Four. But anyway, that's the last thing I'm going to be doing for today, so join me next time for part 2 of my trek through Victory Road.